Ron DeSantis mocks LGBTQ plus people with filed midterm campaign mailer. Florida's Republican governor is continuing his assault on the LGBTQ plus community. This time, he's using a campaign mailer to mock non-binary people ahead of next week's elections. The campaign document used slick disinformation about DeSantis' Democratic opponent Charlie Crist, including the claim that President Joe Biden's student loan plan would force hardworking Floridians to pay back student loans like degrees for like gender studies and French portraits. HuffPost received the mailer from a person in Fort Lauderdale. The outlet reports that it shows a photo of Crist and Biden hugging with the text, the Biden-Crist College Loan Bailout. Make inflation worse, punish hardworking taxpayers. Reward University, the flyer also for full of non-binary student wearing makeup and graduation gown with a partisan bubble overhead. That reads, "Thank you, Joe Biden and Charlie Crist, for making Floridians pay off my student debt." HuffPost reports that the photo is a Getty Image stock photo. The Advocate review of availability of Getty Images discovered that the photo is a series of graduation photos taken not in Florida but in Brazil. Florida Rep. Anna V. Escamilla tweeted with the pictures of the flyer saying, "The grillphobia coming out of today's Republican Party is so sad and disturbing." Yes, it is.
Can I just say, I am unfortunately not surprised to hear this. I feel like if you're going to put a flyer out there, just say how you're going to make Florida better. Why attack certain people? And then when people are going to read that, they're going to follow that, and then we're going to be taking steps backwards. But I do have to say, unfortunately, after hearing some things, I'm not surprised to hear about this.
But he's taking a page right out of the Trump book, isn't he? That's just something that Trump would do totally.
I agree.
Marco Rubio did the same thing, and he used a drag queen saying, our drag queens are groomers. And he used like a stock photo of like a drag queen from another country. You know what I mean? I mean,
it's total misrepresentation. It's absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, what else?
Again, this is somebody we want to put in leadership. Somebody who will manipulate the truth so much that he will blind his own constituents, his own people, to get his way. I mean, that's Val Demings. I love you.
Demings, please. Yeah, exactly.
It's heartbreaking that this is where we're at with politics.
This morning, Steve Kornacki, our gay predictor-in-chief in politics at NBC, predicts that the Senate the Republicans are going to pick up 2 seats. And they're going to have a 52-seat majority in the Senate. This story is an illustration of, if they accomplish that tomorrow, why they can. Because when the Supreme Court ruled almost a decade ago now that money was free speech in an election campaign, it brought out all kinds of money. And so this week I donated to a campaign very publicly $50. And it was the first and only donation that I did in this election cycle. My $50 donation, while symbolically important, is not the counter of the millions, including the tens of millions that are being donated to campaigns. That's our number one problem in elections in America. And over the last 20 years, it's done nothing but get worse. The other major issue that's going on in campaigns is truth is of no consequence. Once upon a time, you had to say in your election television ad, "I approve this message." The reason why that started to happen 2 decades ago is to ensure that if Faye Watt was running for election, God forbid, but if Faye was running for election, Faye would say at the end of that commercial, "I approve this, so therefore it's true." Today, a candidate could say, "I approve this," and it doesn't have to be true in any way. This is just one minor example of it. And the reason that is so tragically characteristic of our elections is you can take a quotation completely know you're misrepresenting it, apply it to the point that you're making, and make it something completely different. A candidate in South Florida, in Miami-Dade County, socialism with Latinos, especially the Cuban American community, is a very big issue. Patio is running for Congress and is basically saying, I'm a Latino with Cuban roots. I know what socialism is all about, and talks about it. The candidate that's the current incumbent in the congressional seat takes those words out of Taddeo's commercial and says she's a socialist, which is completely contextually the opposite of the words that came out of her mouth. But there needs to be no truth in the advertising. If we can barely get many people in our LGBTQ community to know the election is tomorrow and you should vote, and it's not for President of the United States tomorrow, how can we possibly assume that they will be sophisticated enough to be told you just watched a lie? So that's why they can use clip art from Brazil and say this is something that the candidate endorses. We are going to a place where how do we return from it? I really don't know how we return.
I think that people have to understand that with things like this, all people care about is about that vote. And we have to be very careful that people can get so easily manipulated. They have to be smart and stand to their structure. And I go back to what you keep saying, or what you said before. Strength in numbers, people. Strength in numbers. But that's the really sad thing.
Do your research. Know what you're doing.
People are just going to do and say whatever they can to get that attention and vote, even if it hurts people. And that's the sad truth, in my opinion.
As we indicated, we're doing this special broadcast of Queer News tonight. We're here at the Manor on Wilton Drive. And this is really quite an event. This is the night before the midterm elections that start tomorrow. And a major candidate for governor of the state of Florida and for the U.S. Senate, opposing Ron DeSantis and Marco Rubio, are coming together tonight in this final campaign appearance. Now, that in and of itself is not so significant. But what is significant is that the two candidates have come together in the same place at the same time, literally at the 11th and a half final hour. We are in the room right now broadcasting here at Queer News Tonight. For this event, you're going to hear in complete, total context every word that is said tonight at this final campaign stop. And the reason we are doing it is the reason it is significant. These two major national candidates are here in Wilton Manor, that we always joke is the gayest place on planet Earth. Of all the places that they could be tonight, especially together, they've made the decision to come to the LGBTQ community. Probably unlike any two major national candidates in all of America tonight, they are speaking directly to the LGBTQ community and, of course, the broad Florida electorate. But that's the reason Queer News Tonight is here, and we're broadcasting our live LGBT evening news show from here, because the consequences of this history, win or lose tomorrow, is so historic of the reach out and respect that's given to the LGBTQ community. This is a live event, and we are live. So we're going to stay with this as we go. While we're waiting for the program here to begin, let's talk about a couple of the things that are going on. Today, the day before the election, we come down to two big issues. It seems to me, and all of the studies and polling suggest, that the number one issue in America and in Florida for the electorate for tomorrow is the economy. 47% say it's the number one issue. They're worried about inflation. They're worried about gas prices. They're worried about rent, mortgages, etc. Number three is a culture issue, which is issues that are dramatically smaller in percentage, 9% think the number one issue is abortion. Only 4% think broad culture war issues like LGBT rights are the number one issue. Do you think the candidates in this election cycle have gotten it right? If tomorrow the Democrats lose the House and they lose the Senate, is it because they bet on culture issues like abortion versus focusing so much on the success that President Biden has had in economy, in getting passage of many of the programs that they got passed in the last 2 years, that their lack of focus on that may contribute to the loss of the House and Senate? What do you think about have they made the right decisions to focus on culture issues versus economic issues?
In my opinion, I proudly voted for Biden in the last election. But as I think about the past couple of years with him in leadership, I'm a little disappointed that there wasn't a little bit more forward momentum with what he was doing. So I think that the candidates taking the time to focus in on culture and what's coming in the future, because culture has changed dramatically. You were talking about even just the past 10 years, like seeing yourself represented on camera is incredible. And having that be kind of the focus, the culture, future, forward motion, I think is the right thing to do, because that's what we need to continuously remind ourselves, is that what's to come is what we need to like focus in on right now. We're laying a foundation, and it could easily distract us if we turn around and try to look at what's been accomplished and pat ourselves on the back.
And we have been distracted, and most of the people have been distracted. When you think about, we saw the debate between Charlie Crist and Ron DeSantis the other day, right? And Ron DeSantis doesn't even talk about the inflation, the gas prices, the fact that insurance companies are just killing homeowners here in South Florida. He doesn't talk about that. He wants to talk about the grooming. He wants to talk about the trans issue.
Yeah.
He wants to talk. We're not trying to hurt anybody, and that's what he's going for.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
took that cue from the Trump administration using the word of socialism, and yet we go through a hurricane, and now we're talking about, well, President Biden come through for us.
Well, Ron DeSantis helps out the teachers. You should have been helping out the teachers years ago. What are you talking about?
From the beginning.
I agree with everything you said. I hate to say it. I think some of it is like, how do you get that attention? And I think that this is kind of an extreme standpoint, but it's all attention grabbing in all the wrong way, or at least I think it's all the wrong way. But going back to your original question, I think that even though the culture is kind of a smaller part, I agree with you. I think that focusing on culture is the right way to go, because I think that number will expand. The world is changing.
Yeah.
I think that number is the future, and that number we'll see be a much greater portion that people think about in their minds. So I think that's what you really have to focus on, is where are we going? So I don't personally think that it's a mistake, even though it's a smaller number. I think that number will grow with time.
Most people are not educated enough. They don't research enough to see what's going on.
Yeah.
You know? So instead, they're like, hey, they're trying to groom our children. If you don't love children, right, then that's what it is. If you don't want our children to be safe, then you've got to vote for me, right? Because the other person is not trying to take care of your children. Mind you, there's all these other things that are really going on.
Yep.
It's hanging fruit.
People need to do their research, because when you have an authority figure and you see that power, you can be so easily manipulated, and not just by a Ron DeSantis, the president, anybody. It could be an entertainer. You have to do your own research to not fall into that manipulation, because people will do whatever they can to get you and to get your vote, and then that's what's going to sway the public opinion.
Another question I have is, in the polling, NBC released final polling results before the midterm elections. And the number 2 issue that Americans and Floridians were concerned about was the surviving of our democracy. And many Americans, 30-some% of Americans, were concerned about whether our democracy can survive what we're watching.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Do you think LGBTQ community is concerned about the democratic process of our institutions, our government, our voting?
I think we'll be concerned when it's too late, Al. And that's awful to say. Hey, when marriage rights were given, everybody was like, we're good.
Yeah.
Right? We're just like everybody else. We're just like the streets.
Yep.
And that's next. Roe versus Wade was just the tip of the iceberg. They're
Exactly.
coming for us. They're coming for us.
Yeah.
And how about our election issues politically? Are we worried about the democratic process of candidates saying the election is valid and that we're going to support results, etc.? Do you think the LGBTQ community is cares?
I don't even think the LGBTQ plus community thinks that far ahead. That makes me sad to say about my own community, you know, but just like you said, you were at the barbershop where people at a barbershop that talk about all current events didn't even know that the election was here. That's scary. But you know what? That really does speak volumes as to what some of our LGBTQ plus community is delusional.
Yeah.
You know?
Let's give a real example of transition of power.
You have a very pretty girl next to you.
I have a very pretty woman next to me.
Hi, Nikki.
This is the Secretary of Agriculture and Consumer Affairs, Nikki Freed.
Thank you.
Nikki, as everyone in LGBT knows, she's beloved in our community. She has told her University of Florida story so beautifully so many times. Nikki ran for, may I call you Nikki? Ran for governor and ran against Charlie Crist. And I believe you didn't win in the primary, but I believe you endorsed and supported the election results. So you're not an election denier.
No, I'm not.
You're not. Nikki, we're sitting on the precipice of trying this last-minute effort to make sure the LGBTQ community knows how important tomorrow is. Tell us about what you think, what you've watched, what you're seeing. Where do you think we are at this moment?
I mean, look, right at this moment, we've spent since the primary, crisscrossing our state, going everywhere from Key West to Jacksonville to the Panhandle and all throughout the state. And right now, the Democratic numbers are not high enough. We need people to understand. I was just hearing you say that people don't know that the election is tomorrow. And what's on the ballot that people always say is the most important election of our lifetime. But this is one of those times where democracy is actually hinging on voter turnout. That we know that there's election deniers all across the country. We know that here in the state of Florida, I mean, look what just happened on Friday. I mean, on Friday, our kids and our state are less free because Republicans have had too much power and too much control. And they feel that if you don't look like them, sound like them, act like them, then you don't belong here. And what is on the ballot tomorrow is decency, common sense, freedom to control what's happening to your own body.
Yep.
And unfortunately, people need to wake up and say, I've got the power, I've got the control to make a change, and that it's not too late. For those of you who remember, I only won by 6,700 votes out of 8.2 million.
Wow.
That's how close these elections are if people vote. And that is really powerful, that the power is in our hands if you exercise it.
I'm curious, as everybody knows, Commissioner Getty Images, just an unequivocal ally of the LGBT community. You have a LGBT representative for you, Nathan Brummer, Nick Harris before that, legendary in LGBT. I'm kind of curious, you're coming to the end as the only statewide Democratic elected official. What's your experience been? Tell us about
How much time do we have?
right?
You know, when I first got elected, I came to this position having a lot of crossover Republican support because I came from, advocating for things that everybody wanted to talk about. They want to talk about legalization of cannabis. They want to talk about gun safety, and they want to talk about our environment. And I didn't come in thinking I was going to be the only ones that gone across the finish line. I thought that I was going to have a whole cabinet with me. And unfortunately, all of a sudden in November of 2018, I woke up with a new title, the only statewide elected Democrat. And that created a whole new responsibility that I didn't think I was going to have. But we knew that we had to step up to the plate, that there was half plus of our state that didn't have representation. And so we saw this as an opportunity to not only do my job as Commissioner of Agriculture, but be that other counterpoint to what is happening in state government. That we've had 28 straight years of one-party control of our state, and look what's happened. And so we looked at this from a perspective of, how do I make sure that we're standing up for everybody?
Yeah.
And so it was difficult. There was definitely those days that I was angry and I was frustrated by what Ron DeSantis and the Republican Party was doing to our state, our beloved state that has never been more divided than we are today. That is not who we are. I was born and raised in Florida. My parents were born and raised in Florida. This is not who we are. We're a state that we love Disney, we love to surf, we love our beaches, we love our retirement communities, we love our gay communities, and all of a sudden, that's not what's happening here. And so it's been one of those issues that I knew that we had to bring people together to have another viewpoint, but it's been frustrating, to say the least.
What's going to be next for you? I can't possibly imagine your young age. We've heard the last from you. Any plans yet in terms of what? Or going to take a break? Going to work?
Wait.
We don't take breaks. Look, I don't know what's next necessarily. There's a lot of things in the works. But what I do know is that I love my state and I love the people that live here. Yeah. And so you have definitely not seen the last of me. We are going to continue to fight. And what I've said consistently, because people kept getting surprised. You lost a primary. Most people that lose primaries go away. And I said, if you cared about what you were fighting for, then it shouldn't matter if you win or lose an election, because that issue and those issues are still happening the day after that election.
Exactly.
So we continue to show up, we continue to fight, and we will continue to fight regardless of the results tomorrow.
You know, I personally say thank you to you, Ms. Nikki Fried, because when Roe versus Wade was overturned and bans off our bodies in Miami started rallying through the streets, Ms. Faye was out there with a bullhorn, and who was next to me? Nikki Fried. Marching with us. So thank you for this.
And won't stop that.
I just want to say thank you. I am a brand new Florida resident, and I'm so thankful for everything that you're doing. I come from New Jersey, so I'm a brand new Florida resident. I love what you're doing.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You picked an interesting time to come to Florida, by the way.
I did. Good time.
All right, I'm being called off because
Absolutely.
but we love you. And know that there's people out here that will continue to fight in the trenches alongside you.
And Nikki Fried, Commissioner of Agriculture and Consumer Affairs, thank you for joining us tonight.
Keep up the great work.
All right. Thank you.
I love her. She's going to be our governor someday. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I want to ask you about our advocacy and our advocacy organizations in LGBT. We're getting ready. This gentleman needs no introduction. Been a full year. Make sure close because of sound. Stephen Gaskell. Stephen is the president of the Florida LGBTQ Democratic Caucus. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. A big night for LGBT. First, I want to ask you about having an event like this. The Florida LGBT Democratic Caucus's Get Out the Vote Center is directly across the street. Probably the finest example of LGBT embracement in the entire nation. Tell us about that and how you're feeling tonight about efforts for the election.
Sure. Thanks, Al. Well, it's great to be here. Yeah, our TV center right here in the heart of Wilton Manors. We try to do one every 2 years, and this is the best one yet. Very visible, right on Wilton Drive. We sent out more than 200,000 texts to get out to vote for our candidates across the state.
200,000
text messages urging people to get out to vote. We sent out more than 5,000 postcards for Rovember across the state. We had events with Val Demings, Charlie Crist, Aramis Ayala, Adam Hattersley, Lauren Book, Jason Pizzo, Dean Trentalis. Really every major candidate or elected official has been through our center. And it really demonstrates the impact that our caucus has. We're among the most active in the Florida Democratic Party. And having our center here in Wilton Manors is really phenomenal. It's very visible. You've been there a couple times, and it's been great. People just walked in and volunteered off the street. That's why we were able to have such a strong impact this cycle.
Let's talk about this event tonight. So former governor Charlie Crist, Congressman Charlie Crist, running against Ron DeSantis, and then Chief Val Demings, Congresswoman Val Demings, running against Marco Rubio. What do you think it says that the two of them would come together in their final campaign appearance together and come to Wilton Drive in the heart of Wilton Manors? What do you think that says for the LGBTQ community?
Well, it says a lot. I mean, we do have to admit that this was not the first choice as of weather. They were supposed to be in Hollywood. But the fact that they thought the next place to come is Wilton Drive, where they've both been before with events here in the heart of the LGBTQ community. It's a terrific venue, but this is Broward County. Wilton Manors and the LGBTQ community are Broward County. That's where the vote has to be turned out for them to have for them to win, and that's what the goal is tonight. It's a get out the vote rally, energizing people who haven't voted, and urging Broward County residents to turn out tomorrow.
Stephen, you have the perfect opportunity here at Queer News Tonight. Talk about these last 24 hours, why LGBT should get out to vote. We know we should vote. By the way, do we know we should be voting tomorrow? We know that. But the question is, will we? And what would you say in terms of why we should?
You know, there are more than 1.5 million LGBTQ Floridians.
1.5 million.
More than that. And we can have an impact. We can change the direction of this state. We can change the direction of this election. It's so frustrating. Our people turned out. We were about 8% of the 2020 electorate here in Florida, and we turned out. But that's not enough. This election is so crucial. We see every day what Ron DeSantis is doing to our community, whether it's the Don't Say Gay law, no pride flags in schools, no safe spaces for LGBTQ students, removing books because they have LGBTQ characters in them, an abortion ban at 15 weeks with no exceptions for rape, incest, which will be a full-out ban on abortion altogether next year. There is just really, Florida is the model for what happens to us around the country. We need to turn out to vote. We can stop DeSantis' march to the White House. We can change the legislature, get Val Demings in Washington and give Joe Biden another voice to pass the Equality Act, which will give the LGBTQ community nationwide the full protections that we deserve. That's what matters in this election, and that's why we need to turn out.
Stephen, I'm not jumping over tomorrow. You're heard loud and clear. But I have a great opportunity with you sitting with us the day after Donald Trump's visit to South Florida and the rally and his characterization of Ron DeSantis. What did you make of his slight on the governor and what that says about what's going to come over the next 2 years?
Well, look, it's so easy to try to psychoanalyze Donald Trump and whatever he says. We've been doing it for years now, rightly, wrongly, who knows. I thought it was actually a good line.
It is a good line.
It is a good line. I mean, especially since, Ron DeSantis is basically Donald Trump without the charm.
Exactly true. And that's why you're acrimonious. Yes.
So, but what it pretends is there will be a fight. We keep hearing that Trump is going to run again. We know DeSantis wants to run again. Now there's a trial balloon floating that DeSantis sits one out. Who really knows until they do what they do? But I think what it really means is that the fight for the farthest right is continuing and will continue to continue. And there's not going to be any resolution shortly.
Well, it's interesting to watch. We're getting ready. We're going to talk in a moment about the program, but I want to thank Stephen Gaskell, the president of the Florida LGBTQ Democratic Caucus, for being with us on Q News tonight.
Thank you, Al.
All right, thank you. Well, as I said, we're getting ready to go to this live program. We're going to be with you throughout. You're going to hear every word and every speech. And when we're finished with the program, we'll have a couple of closing notes. All right? So let's go to the program. Here, right on the heart of Wilton Drive, the final campaign rally.
Who here has voted already? Who here is working the tonight because we have amazing talent in this Democratic Party. So thank you all for braving God's work out there, the rain, for tomorrow and being out here in Wilton Manors. But before I go to our next spot, I would like to introduce some of our elected officials who are here this evening. I would like to start with Representative Joe Geller, who's here. He's on his way in. We got a text, I swear. No, there's a Joe also who already texted us. He's on his way in. I wanted to mention him first because he's the colleague I work with. Commissioner Senator Steve Geller from Broward County Commission. Commissioner Gary Resnick from Wilton Manors. And School Board Member Donna Korn. All right, so who's bringing some people to the polls tomorrow? Who's ready to work their butts off and make sure people get to the polls and that they vote? Broward County, we need to show up. This is our time and our moment. So make sure you get out there tomorrow. We have a great lineup, and thank you all for being here tonight.
And now introducing Malcolm D. Lee, an American filmmaker known for directing numerous comedy films, including The Best Man, Undercover Brother, Roll Bounce, Welcome Home Roscoe Jenkins, Best Man Holiday, and Space Jam: A New Legacy.
How we doing tonight? How are we feeling tonight? Look, this is not hyperbolic when I say this, but this is obviously one of the most important elections of our lifetimes. Am I right? You can't. How's that? Okay, no, I was saying that this is not hyperbole to say this is one of the most important elections of our lifetime. Am I right? We all have made tremendous strides in this country and tremendous progress in this country to live up to the creed of freedom and justice for all. But if we don't vote in this very crucial election, all that progress is going to vanish. And a lot of damage will ensue if we do not take this very, very, very seriously. I am the father of 3 black boys, 2 in college, 1 in middle school. Almost there. I know, I thank you for being sorry. Right. I just got back. I live in New York. I don't live here in Florida, but I just got New York announced. Is Brooklyn in the building? Brooklyn's in the building. So, my wife and I just got back from visiting our son this weekend, and before we even walked in our door, we made sure to go and vote early. We wanted to take advantage of an opportunity that was before us, and I'm asking everyone in this room to do the same tomorrow, okay? And vote for Val Demings and Charlie Crist. Val Demings is a career public servant. Marco Rubio is a career politician. That's right. When he was climbing the political ladder, she was putting on a bulletproof vest and going in and chasing after dangerous criminals in the alleyways, okay? She is the daughter of a maid and a janitor, and she knows the struggles that working families face. She will fight to make the American dream a reality for all of us. She'll work to lower the cost of food and gas and housing, health care, and protect our constitutional rights. And she knows how to keep our communities safe. And you know how I know? Because she's done it. Okay? When she was the first police chief of Orlando, violent crime dropped by 40%. Okay? How did she do it? By investing in communities and improving social services, not by locking people up. Okay? That's the key to bringing down crime, investing in people. okay, giving them hope and a purpose and a reason for being. She's a daughter of Florida. She's the daughter of a maid and a janitor who grew up in the youngest of 7 siblings. Our parents taught her to work hard, be honest, and play by the rules. Not everybody plays by the rules, as we know, right? But she's doing the right thing. First in the family to go to college, and the first to make, she is the American dream. I'll put it like that. After 27 years. And so this is what this election is about, is protecting our democracy. Okay, and democracy is an act of faith. And we know that faith without works is dead. John Lewis said, the great John Lewis, the late great John Lewis, called our right to vote precious, almost sacred. Okay, so we have a responsibility. So many people have sacrificed to protect our right to vote. People in my family, people in our own families, people who came here in search of a better life. So I'm asking you, I know the people in this room are going to vote, but you got to get your neighbors and your friends and your family and your kids and to get out there and vote as well. Let's get out there and vote and amplify that vote. Let people know that you voted. Put it on social media. I voted. You should vote too. And let your followers know to do the same thing. On the ballot on this year is our fundamental freedoms, not just our civil rights, which are never very secure. But it's our freedom to live a good life. And I'm here today, even though I'm from New York, because I know that Florida elections are razor thin, right? We've seen it happen in 2000. We've seen it happen over the years in elections. We've got to, as Florida goes, so goes the rest of the country. So it's crucial that every Floridian who is eligible to vote cast a vote. So cast the ballot tomorrow. Get out there, make calls, knock on doors, vote. We're going to work, and we're going to win. If they go to tell all your people to go to iwillvote.com, the young people or whoever's on the internet, iwillvote.com, and make your plan to vote. This is your right and this is your duty if we want to live in a free democracy. So it's easy. Let's get it done. Let's bring it home. Thank you.
Now, introducing Representative Marie Woodson, who's a member of the Florida House of Representatives, representing District 101.
Yeah, that's right. That was.
We wanna be starting some. We wanna be starting some.
Come on, Floridians. Good evening. Buenas noches. Bonsoir tout le monde. All right. Floridians, I have a message for you tonight. You want to hear what the message is? We have to get Charlie Crist and Biden elected. That's right. We do not have a choice. I am here to tell you that we do not have a choice. We are going to have to come out like our life depends on it. We have to. Let me tell you something. If you think inflation is bad right now, wait until you see what's coming down if you don't get those 2 people elected. You know the work that Charlie Crist has done when he was the governor. Can you attest to that? Can you attest to that? You know what Val Demings did when she was the chief of police. You saw that she gave Donald Trump a run for his money. Now, we are sitting thinking that we're not having a storm coming down in Florida. Guess what? Those who have not voted better wake up and see what's coming down in Florida. My people, I have been working the polls every day from 7 to 7. But guess what? I'm not tired because we're going to fight until the last minute. those two races, they are so critical that I want you to leave here tonight to go talk to every single person that you know, whether you are at the grocery store, whether it's your church, whether it's your neighbor. I keep hearing some people saying, I'm not voting. Guess what? You are digging a hole for yourself if you don't vote. I see what's going on. I'm in Tallahassee. My colleague, Christine Hancharski, is there with me. We are seeing what's happening to our state. If you want the future of your children, your grandchildren to be brighter, you better get out there and cast your vote. Yes, yes. Our teachers, they are not getting paid. They're not getting the respect that they deserve. And it's about time that we put education first by electing Charlie Crist. If we want our country to be better, Joe Biden is doing the best that he can to get our country on the right track. But guess what? If we want this progress to continue, we better get Val Demings to the Senate. I don't want to go back to Haiti, okay? And I'm not going anywhere. But guess what? If we don't get Charlie Crist elected, guess what? Either I'm going to go back to Haiti or all of us going to go back to Africa. That's exactly what's going to happen. So I'm telling you, we have a lot of work to do for that one day that we have left. Every single minute, every single second, every hour count. Are you with me? Are you with me? Are we going to take Florida to the next level? Are we going to take our country to the next level? Yes, we have people fighting for us. We have Debbie Wasserman. She is fighting in D.C. But guess what? We need to send Val Demings with Debbie Wasserman back to D.C. Florida is on fire. We need to put the fire out. And we will not stop until we put the fire out. Democrats, NPA, whether you're a Republican, you might not like what you see because I don't like what I see. But guess what? Together, we are going to make it happen. Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you going to vote? Are you going to tell everybody to vote? All right, Floridians, let's kick some butt and let's get Charlie Crist and Val Demings elected. Come on, let's go, 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 let's go. Thank you. Tomorrow night, I don't want anyone to wake up on November 9th and regret the fact that you did not do something. So do everything that you can to get Val elected and Charlie Crist. Come on, put some music on. Come on, yes, yes, yes. I want some music. Put some music on. Come on, let's dance. Boom. We are fired up. Are we fired up? Fired up, fired up, fired up. Thank you so much. The job is in your hands. Do everything that you can to get them elected. Thank you. Muchas gracias. Merci beaucoup. Bye-bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at a campaign wrap-up video from the historic campaign of Governor Charlie Crist.
Florida is my home. There's so much to be proud of, but this doesn't represent us.
You are pushing false narratives.
Don't say gay bills.
To pick a big fight with Disney.
A 15-week abortion ban.
No exceptions for rape or incest.
I'm standing in your way.
Reprimanding high school students who
raised him.
He's widely expected to run for president in 2024.
It's a strange phenomenon that's happened in the age of Trump, which is that displays like that are somehow viewed as strength.
Florida, we deserve better. Somebody who actually wants this job. I've spent my whole life fighting for the people of Florida. As the grandson of immigrants, I know what it means to live the American dream. It starts by building the middle class and lifting people up. And as governor, I was proud of what we accomplished. But now, Ron DeSantis is attacking Florida. He says he's all about freedom, but only if you do what he says. He's banning a woman's right to choose, disenfranchising black voters.
As just another attack on the black community by this governor.
For him, politics is all about power, resentment. He wins, you lose.
This campaign is right versus wrong. What is the matter with that guy?
But I'm running for governor to stop him and build a Florida that works for everyone.
He is a governor of the people.
Not making it about going from one side or the other, but really bringing people together.
I'll tackle the affordability crisis and stand up to the special interest. Create good paying jobs, protect your reproductive freedom, and build a Florida for all. We can do this together. We can stand up to the hate. And with your help, we will win in November.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Governor Charlie Crist.
I'm yours.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you. And God bless Florida. So, God bless you, Joe. You're an amazing man. We have got to get Val Demings elected to the United States Senate. And by the grace of God, we got to get Charlie Crist elected your next governor. This is Chelsea. Chelsea's my fiance. And a new Florida voter. So when we win by one, it's her. No pressure. Listen, I want to thank all of you. 1 day to go. One more day. 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 And then we finish it. And we have a new beginning and a new day in Florida. Because, my friends, as you know, for the past 4 years, it's been a nightmare. It's been a nightmare under this governor. Taking away a woman's right to choose. Not only that, making it harder for people of color to vote. Making it harder for our teachers to teach. Not giving them raises, giving them bonuses. What about veteran teachers? They don't count? Come on. You got to do the right thing. And the only thing he does is try to make his future bright. He doesn't care about ours. And it's heartbreaking to watch. That's why I'm running for governor. I am running for governor to defeat Ron DeSantis. Oh, happy day. 1 day to go. You know, it's been an interesting journey. I announced for this back on May the 4th, 21. May the force be with you. And with us tomorrow. And with Val tomorrow. And with all the good people of Florida tomorrow. And you know what President Obama used to always tell us? I know you know this. When we vote, we win. It's true. How many of you have voted? Raise your hands. God bless you. And as Malcolm told you, thank God you all got out there and you voted. But our work is not done yet. So today, where have we been? We started in West Palm. Then we went up to St. Lucie. Then we went to Fort Pierce. Now we're back here, Lourdes. As soon as we leave here, we got to leave a little early. We're flying back to Tampa. We got a press conference there. Then we go to St. Petersburg and start it all again tomorrow. Never stop, never quit, never give up. Because Florida deserves better. You deserve better. Florida's children deserve better. Florida's women deserve better. Right? You know, it really comes down to one word, too. Well, Chelsea, that's true. But respect. Honest to goodness. It comes down to respect. DeSantis doesn't respect us. He sure as hell doesn't respect women and your right to make your own decisions about your own health care and your own body. That is appalling. It's appalling. I'm an only son. I was raised with 3 sisters. I got this early on as a young boy. Do unto others as you would have done unto you. Be decent to each other, be kind to each other, and respect each other. RESPCT. You got the song up there? I'm telling you, that really is what this is about. Some of those people, like Ron DeSantis, just don't respect other human beings. Look what he did to the Hispanics, Venezuelans in this case, taking them from Texas to Martha's Vineyard. He has no respect for humankind. None. They're all looked at, including us, as political pawns in his political game of chess. It's sickening. It's sickening. And then the other day, he puts out a video. On the 8th day, we needed a fighter. Holy God. What was that? Who does that? I don't know, but I know this. God's going to take care of that. And it's going to happen tomorrow night. It's going to happen tomorrow night. You know, this has been a great campaign, and I can't thank all of you. You're the activists. My God, you're the best. You're the best. You never stop. You never give up. You keep making the calls. You knock on the doors. We got to run through the finish line, and the tape doesn't come up till 7 p.m. tomorrow night. A little bit later if you're in the Panhandle. So let's keep working hard. Let's do what's right. Let's never give up. Let's never give in. And I guarantee you, we do that, run through this tape, Val Demings will be in the Senate, and I'll be in the governor's mansion, and the sunshine will come back out to the Sunshine State. God bless you all. God bless our Florida. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to have a brief intermission.
Like a fool, I went and stayed too long. I'm wondering if your love's still strong. Ooh, baby, here I am, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. Then that time I went and said goodbye. Now I'm back and not ashamed to cry. Ooh, baby. just begun to get our share of this world's delight. High hopes we had for the future and our goals in sight. We know we don't get depressed. Here's what we call our golden rule. Have faith in you and the things you do. You won't go wrong. Oh no, this is our family jewel.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Success St. Fleur, better known as Success Jr. He's a Haitian-American comedian, producer, actor, and writer. Also known for portraying his mother, Mama Jr.
Haitian yo! All right, DJ, all right, listen. Guys, this has been a journey, right? And I'm not just talking about for the senator to be. I'm talking about political. Things has gotten critical. And when I decided to speak on behalf of the future senator, I decided to speak with her, and just so I can know her better. And when I heard that she spent 27 years in law enforcement, I was amazed. Because 7 months ago, I just got a dog, and I'm ready to quit. Done. Now, when we talk about someone who's going to implement change, I am speaking on behalf of immigrants in this state that really matters, that make things move. The first independent black nation is in this state as well. And I feel like often
we are forgotten. But when I spoke to Val, Miss Val, Police Chief Val, Congresswoman Val, she said, listen, I am not going to forget about the Haitians. I'm not going to forget about anyone in Florida once she gets the seat. Can we say go Val? Can we say go Val? So what I want to do is I want her to hear the chant, because y'all know she's here. It's no secret she's here. Can we give her a chant maybe? We want Val. We want Val. We want Val. Who do you want? Who do you want? Who do you want? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Success Jr. and make sure November 8th you guys go and vote. This is the most important time to vote. I know they say it every year. But then again, we don't vote every month, every 6 months, or every year. We vote every 2 years or 4 years, and these people matter. These individuals who are running, they affect our lives directly. So once again, we love, we want. Ladies and gentlemen, South Florida, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. November 8th, don't forget, bright and early. I will be visiting the polls. I'll be bringing soup. Okay, maybe that's not true. I'll be bringing bread. I'll make sure everyone is there bright and early, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Florida's 12th Commissioner of Agriculture and Consumer Services, Nikki Freed.
Straight talk with y'all. 2018, you came through. You came through and elected the first statewide elected Democrat in almost 2 decades. You came through to make sure that every ballot was counted. And at the end of 2 long weeks of a recount, we were able to win by 6,753 votes because of Broward County. So we're going to ask Broward to do it again. And I know that we hear this every single election, that Broward County votes, the entire state goes with it. So we know that at the end of tomorrow night, that we are going to elect Democrats here in Broward County. I'm not worried about that. But we got to do our part to make sure that we are putting our statewide back on the ballot and winning tomorrow night. And that's going to come down to Broward County. But this is a little bit different than it was in 2018 when I came here and talked to you all about what it would be like to have the first female commissioner of agriculture. And I love you all too. But this is a different time than it was 4 years ago. We have residents all across our state who can't afford to live here, who are struggling. We're seeing such divisiveness here in the state of Florida that we have never seen before. I've crisscrossed the state for the last 4 years. And when I talk to family members, when I talk to Floridians, do you know what I hear? I hear their stories. I hear their stories that they just want to be able to get up. They want to go to work. They want to kiss their kids off to school, make sure that they get their kids safely back from school. They want to make sure that they can afford their rent. They want to make sure that they can afford the utilities bills and their property insurance. They want to be able to live up to that American dream of home ownership. This is what everyday Floridians want. And it doesn't matter if you're first generation and just came here looking for freedom from your country, or you're a fourth generation in the agriculture industry. The vision of America, the vision of freedom, the vision of democracy is the same no matter who you are if you live here. But we got a problem. We have a guy who's sitting in the mansion who doesn't agree with that same vision for our country. He doesn't believe in freedom. Now, as you all know, I went to the University of Florida. Go Gators for all my Gators in the room. And he went to Harvard and Yale, so he should understand what freedom means. But let me tell you what freedom does not mean. It doesn't mean taking away my choices, what to do with my body. That is not freedom. Banning books is not freedom. Arresting 20 individuals to suppress others' votes, that is not freedom. Censoring our teachers is not freedom. Making it harder to protest is not freedom. Telling parents that they cannot give life-saving hormone treatment to their kids is not freedom. Stifling speech at our universities is not freedom. This guy believes that if you don't look like him, sound like him, love like him, pray like him, you don't belong here in the state of Florida. He actually believes that he is God. We all saw the announcement video from this week. He believes he is God. And the other guy, 2 days ago, gave him his nickname. That if the other guy is calling you self-righteous and egotistical and a big piece of, and the same guy who thought that he is the Messiah, we've got a problem. Because the only act of God that I know that's out there is a storm named Nicole. Now, on a serious note, we do know that that storm is coming. So please make sure after we vote tomorrow and we win tomorrow that you're doing what you need to do to protect yourselves. But then we have another problem here in our state. We have a U.S. senator who has been here for 12 years, and I don't know what he has done except tweet Bible verses. And we got to get him gone. And you know who we need to elect? We need to elect Val Demings. Somebody who is going to show up to work. Somebody who's going to protect our freedoms. Somebody who is going to fight for our democracy. Somebody who's going to make sure that our schools are safe and our streets are safe. And who's going to show up for all of us. This election is pivotal. This election is going to determine who we are as Americans, making sure that we're living up to the dreams of the forefathers to have freedom for all. Your children and your grandchildren are going to ask you, what did you do in this moment? They're going to ask you, when democracy was on the line, what did you do? And we are going to tell them, we did everything that we could. Everything that we could. And that means that Broward County has to show up tomorrow. There is no option. So you all know that there's at least 5 or 10 people who are not here tonight. You all have to contact them tonight You have to be responsible for 10 people that are not here tonight, because there is no 701 on election day. There is no 701. And we've got to make sure that we are going to sleep tomorrow knowing that we did everything possible to fight for democracy. Now I'm going to do one thing. And I know there's a lot of people standing, but I want, if you are able, every female that is in here either to stand or raise your hand. Or both. Now I want every guy in here who supports these women to stand. This is what democracy looks like. This is what freedom looks like. And this is how we save America, by each and every one of you. And we are not going to back down. And we are going to make sure that we are sending Val Demings to the U.S. Senate. And I'm going to end with this because you have other people to hear from. I want to say thank you. It has been an absolute honor and pleasure to serve you the last 4 years as your Commissioner of Agriculture. I have taken the fight to DeSantis every single day, and I will never stop fighting for the people of our state. We will not back down. We will protect freedoms. We will protect democracy, and we will show up tomorrow. God bless you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the former chair of the Democratic National Committee and representative of Florida's 23rd Congressional District, Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Just a featherweight. He thinks the slightest breeze could blow me over. What he doesn't know is I've got a slingshot and a stone, and I can win with no one in my corner.
Thank you all so much. What's up, Broward County? Are we going to win tomorrow? It is time to show the world what Broward County is all about. We are in the home stretch, my friends, and we're going to show them what the bluest county in Florida can do and put this state and this nation on a better track. Are you with me? Are we going to let this election go red tomorrow? No. Hell no. Our case is simple and easy. Go blue. It's better for me and you. Let me tick off the list of ways. If you want to pay less for rent and property insurance, elect Charlie Crist tomorrow, not the man who ignored high rent and property insurance rates for 4 years. You see, when Florida goes blue, it's better for me and you. Marco Rubio tried to max out inflation. Marco Rubio tried to max out inflation by refusing to cut drug prices or unclog our supply chains, while Val was busy fighting to lower health and energy costs. Again, go blue, it's better for me. Val made billionaires and big businesses pay their fair share, while Marco Rubio stuffed tax breaks in millionaires and billionaires' pockets. Rubio pockets millions from the NRA and votes against common sense gun safety laws, while Chief Demings went to Washington and told the NRA, there's a new sheriff in town, my friends. That's what happens when Florida goes blue. It's better for me. Radical Ron supports a guns everywhere law that puts untrained and unlicensed firearms on every corner. And he'll even roll back the Parkland gun reforms that we passed and fought for. Charlie would fight that dangerous nonsense tooth and nail. Again, go blue, it's better for me. And what about your parents and grandparents? Rubio, Radical Ron, and the reckless Republicans will ransack critical lifelines and defend them to their last breath. You see, we have to go blue because it's better for me and you.
What about having the government force your mom, your auntie, your daughter, your sister, your wife to bring a child into the world? That's what Radical Ron and Marco Rubio will do, and once they totally criminalize abortion, they'll go after contraception, in vitro fertilization, and marriage equality. Only extremists want that. Am I right? Yes. It is better to go blue because it's better for me and you. So in these final 24 hours, we just need to share these facts with folks who think that they have nothing to lose tomorrow, because there might be one or two of those. Just explain that if you go blue, life will be so much better. Once our coworkers, our friends, and neighbors know these facts, they will want to help us finish the job tomorrow. That's where we're gonna get done tomorrow. Am I right? Yeah. So text that cousin and let them know that Charlie will fight for lower rent and property insurance. Make sure all your coworkers know that Val Demings cut health care, energy, and prescription drug costs, and she will keep fighting for that every single day. Give that friend a ride to the polls so they can get a higher minimum wage or secure their student loan forgiveness. And if you have a loved one who wants to start a family someday, make sure they know that Charlie and Val will fight to ensure that it's a decision their family and doctor can make, not some local politician. Keep it simple and tell them, if you vote blue, it's better for me and you. Democrats fight for the freedoms that we all want, to get a good education, a decent job, and get ahead. We all want the freedom not to drown in bills from corrupt corporations or the fear that climate change will ruin our futures. And we all want the freedom to start a family when we want. Val and Charlie fight for those freedoms every single day. These are not the times to put truth deniers, liars, and cowards in high office. We need strong truth tellers and compassionate leaders, not bullies and blowhards. We need Val Demings and Charlie Crist. We need real leaders, ones who are not afraid to take on the NRA and Big Pharma and win because they have won. We need Val Demings and Charlie Crist. Am I right, Broward County? Now look, Broward, we have the power to win these races up and down the ballot and carry these candidates on our shoulders. I want to tell you something that I bet you don't know. As of yesterday, more Democrats have voted in Broward County than Republicans and NPAs combined. We are doing this, Broward, doing this. That's how a Broward County rolls when it comes to elections. We roll up the score. We carry these candidates on our damn shoulders. We elect presidents. We elect governors, and we elect United States senators. We can turn the tide, but only if we work together. Am I right, Broward County? I've watched it happen time and again. In these coming hours, my friends, call, text, work with your neighbors, friends. It is not time to rest. Get your colleagues, tell them to get a vote plan together. Let's send someone to Washington and Tallahassee who fights for our families, not special interests and extremists. I know you're with me, Broward County. Now let's go out and make some history. Turn Florida blue. It's better for me and you. It's better for me and you. It's better for me and you. We can do this, Broward County. Let's turn Florida blue tomorrow and carry Val and Charlie on our shoulders to victory. Thank you so much.
And now we will have a look at the historic campaign of Chief Val Demings.
Democrats, the future of our nation. When we talk about the land of opportunity, when we talk about every boy, every girl having an opportunity in this country to succeed, that agenda, that future of opportunity rests in the hands of the people in the Democratic Party. We can win. Democrats, we can win. We have to. We must do everything within our power to protect the right to vote. And then after we protect the right, we've got to go out and exercise our right to vote. And that is why I'm running for the United States Senate, and I'm running to win.
And now, introducing the next senator from the state of Florida. Everybody stand up for Chief Valdez. Chief.
Well, she was an American girl, raised on promises. She couldn't help thinking that there was
Y'all know, I think I'm gonna go back out and come back in and do it all over again. Hello, Broward County! It is so good to be here with you tonight on this election day eve. Are you ready to win? Are you ready to win? Broward, what I came to tell you tonight is this: Florida can do better. We can do better. I just want to thank the wonderful people who were here before me. Y'all help give it up for my friend, my colleague, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Thank you. To the other elected official, Representative Marie Woodson, wasn't she? You talk about having something to say to all of our elected officials. Thank you so much for what you do every day. You know, there are a lot of people in leadership positions, but that does not make them a leader. Don't just watch what they say, watch what they do. And so we thank God for Florida's real leaders. Give our elected officials a round of applause. You all know that I feel so lucky tonight because Malcolm Lee was here with you as well. Y'all give him a round of applause. And what about Success Junior? Broward County, I'm going to tell you once again, this is our last rally, and I feel I need to say this one more time. I am Val Demings. I am running for the United States Senate, and I'm running to win. I'm running to win. Broward County, you all know. You know what's at stake. You know what's at stake. See, right now, we are fighting for the very soul of our nation. We're fighting to continue to make sure that the American dream can still come true. We're fighting so that every man, every woman, every boy, and every girl, regardless of who you are, the color of your skin, where you might live, how much money you might have, your sexual orientation, sexual identity, or religion will have an opportunity to succeed. We're not running for the privileged few. We're running for all Floridians. You see, I feel like it's a good night to quote my friend and colleague, the amazing Majority Whip, James Clyburn. Let me drive it home why this race matters. You see, Jim said, we don't need to make America great again.
America is great. Oh, I like that part right there. America has always been great. Jim goes on to say that is not our challenge. But the challenge is, it seems to me, how do we make the greatness of America accessible and affordable for all Americans? You see, that is the work before us, and that is why I am running for the United States Senate, and I'm running to win. Broward County, everything that you care about and everything that I care about, this daughter of a maid and a janitor. I can remember people telling me I wasn't the right color. I wasn't the right gender. My family didn't have enough money. I came from a rural part of Duval County. I remember them telling me I'd never amount to anything. I want you to think about children in Florida and children in our nation who might hear those same things every day. But look at me. They said it wouldn't be so. They said I would not make it. But I stand before you, Broward County, tonight as Orlando's 36th police chief. I stand before you tonight as a member of the United States House of Representatives. And I stand before you tonight as a candidate for the United States Senate. They said it wouldn't be so. They said it couldn't be done. But only in America is my story possible. That is why this race matters. That is why Marco needs to go, and that is why I'm running to win. I'm running to win. You see, Broward County, health care, it's on the ballot. The cost of prescription drugs, it's on the ballot. Capping the cost of insulin for Floridians, it's on the ballot. And I don't care what Marco and his enablers say, there's only one party working to lower the cost of prescription drugs and health care and hold the richest of the richest corporations accountable, and that's the Democratic Party. That's the Democratic Party. We wish they would join us. Come on and join us. Climate control, climate change. It's on the ballot. And there's only one party right now who is working to address flooding in South Florida, working to address climate change, and that's the Democratic Party. It's the Democratic Party. Public education. It's on the ballot. I remember my mother, the maid who did not finish high school, teaching her 7 little children that if we were going to make it, if we had any chance at all, it was through public education. Public education is on the ballot. And while we address and invest in public education, where the majority of Florida's children will go, we need to start paying our teachers what they are worth. Oh, let me say this part, Broward County, on this election day eve, women's rights. They're on the ballot. Now, I don't care what Marco Rubio says. He changes his story time and time again. There are no alternative facts. Alternative facts are lies. Marco Rubio believes in no exceptions for abortions, including rape and incest. Now, let me say this. As a former police detective who worked in the Crimes Against Children unit, who investigated cases of rape and incest, no, it is not okay for a 10-year-old girl to be raped and have to carry the seed of her rapist. Marco Rubio needs to go. He needs to go. Look, we are not going back. We're not going back. Too many people have worked. Too many people have suffered, bled, and died for the rights that we enjoy. We're not going back. Hell no, I'm not going back. We are going to fight and fight and fight some more. Broward County, be careful. Be careful, because you might say, well, abortion is not my issue. I mean, my goodness, I don't. But look, when we send a message that discrimination of any kind is okay, ignore it now. Ignore it on somebody else's street. Before you know it, it'll be on your street. Taking away constitutional rights is not okay. Now look, we know inflation, the cost of goods and services, it's on the ballot. But there's only one party. I don't care what they say. Where's their plan? There's only one party working to lower costs for everyday families and lower costs for our seniors, and that is the Democratic Party. They will say, well, my gosh, what about inflation? Well, what about inflation? I stand here as the daughter of a maid and a janitor. Marco Rubio can't tell me anything about struggling to make ends meet. But guess what, Broward County? I can help to lower costs and protect your constitutional rights all at the same time. All at the same time. All at the same time. Guess what, Broward County? Gun violence. Mothers demand action. I know you're in the House. Gun violence is on the ballot. Now, we live in the greatest nation in the world. We've established that. Well, surely, we can stop our children from being gunned down in a classroom. And we can stop grocery shoppers from being gunned down in a grocery store. And what about a movie theater? What about a mall? What about a nightclub in Orlando? Oh, we can do something about gun violence if we elect people who want to do something about gun violence. Marco Rubio has had time and time and time again to do something about gun violence, but he has 3.3 million reasons for not wanting to do anything about gun violence. $3.3 million from the gun lobby. Broward County, we can do better than that, and we will do better than that. Voting rights is on the ballot. Now, I remember in 2020, The governor saying that, well, Florida had the best election process in the country, that it needed to be a model for other states to follow. Well, if that's the case, then why in the heck did he mess with our voting process and remove drop boxes? Why does he feel the need to limit our right to vote? Let the people vote. And you see, Broward County, that's why we can do better and we must do better. Let's send Charlie Crist to the governor's mansion. Oh, we can do it. We have to do everything in our power to protect voting rights. And then guess what, Broward? We've got to get out and exercise our right to vote. Let the people vote. Too many people. I had the opportunity to work with the amazing Debbie and I, John Lewis. And you all know when he stepped across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, it was to guarantee voting rights for all people. John Lewis knew that he was going to be beat down that day. Matter of fact, he could have been killed that day, but he was determined to use his intellect, his voice, his feet, his passion, his courage to make sure that every person could vote. Let the people vote. Things are not perfect. We know that. They've never been perfect. We were warned. We're working to form that more perfect union. It's not perfect, but let's build the Florida that we deserve. Get out and vote. Oh, they'll tell you. Look, y'all, I'm standing here as a girl, a black girl that grew up in Duval County, poor. They'll tell you, oh, it's too hard. How are you going to do it? My God, it's not worth it. If I had listened to that, I would not be standing here now. Oh, we can do it. It's never been easy in this country. It's never been easy. Protecting people's rights, protecting women's rights, it's not easy. Fighting against discrimination, it's not easy. Protecting voting rights, it's not easy. Making sure that we have affordable housing, it's not easy. But we have to be determined to fight the people's fight. This is about the future of our state. Doggone it, and our state is worth fighting for. This is about the future of our nation, and doggone it, our nation is worth fighting for. Let's make sure the greatness of America is accessible and affordable for all Americans. Broward County, with your help. Broward County, with every person in this room. I wish I could shake the hands of every person in this room. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. With your help, I will be elected. The next with your help, Broward, I will be elected the next United States Senator to represent Florida.
It's not how you fall, it's how you get back up. And what don't kill us make us stronger, boy. Bet that up, take a swing at us. You better hit hard, cause when we swing back, it's like, oh God, it's time to knuckle up and fight hard. Now let's all buckle up and fight hard.
That will complete our program. Please.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Lara are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ+ community.